Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Today I have some Dollar Tree boho decor. I feel like this could work with boho farmhouse, and I really love that bowl because I think it looks so high-end, very Anthropologie. This was created using mainly Dollar Tree, but I show you all of the alternatives. If I'm not using something Dollar Tree, then I show you the Dollar Tree alternative, but I am in no way, shape, or form encouraging you to go out to Dollar Tree or anywhere to find these supplies, especially now that we're under quarantine. I'll leave all the links in the description to stuff that you can order online. You can recreate this at a later date. This video is not going anywhere. It's going to be up here on the internet, but I really hope that you enjoy this video and that you're staying home and safe, and that you stick around by subscribing to this channel, because once you hit subscribe, we instantly become best friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
And please hit that notification bell so you know every time I post a video. YouTube may or may not let you know, but if they don't, follow me on Instagram, and let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with this Dollar Tree little cube organizer. I wish they had a bigger size, but I haven't been able to find it. So I'm going to use a seam ripper, and I'll link that below, to just rip the edges so that I can remove that cardboard. So I'm going to remove the cardboard from the front and the back. And if you want to avoid this completely, you can definitely use some of the Dollar Tree rugs that look very boho, but I really love this pattern, and the moment that I saw this organizer, I knew I wanted to turn it into something, so this is my attempt at that something. So I'm just cutting the front and the back, and I'm going to turn it into a tiny little pillow. Now these tassels are recycled from a Dollar Tree tassel chandelier video. I've made tassels on my channel before. I didn't want to make this video unnecessarily long, so I'll link that below. If you're sewing, put the tassels on the inside and make sure that your fabric is facing pretty side to each other. So I'm not sewing, I'm hot gluing. I should definitely sew because this can become unwoven. I instantly regretted using hot glue when I realized that this could easily unweave. So I'm going to do this the same way that you would when you sew, and then I'm going to leave one side open and flip it inside out. That really cool boho pattern is actually really thick, so I grabbed a ruler and I pushed out the corners, and now I'm just going to fill it. This is old pillow stuffing that I had. You can use an old pillow, you can use bags, whatever you want, and then I'm going to hot glue it together once I have a nice fluff to it. Now, if you notice, I didn't put the tassels on the inside because this is such a small pillow, so I just decided to kind of shove them in the corners. This is totally making a sewer cringe, but when I was done, I think I had a cute little tiny pillow. It looks wonderful on an accent chair. It's definitely not huge, but it is such a statement piece. I love it. For this next one, and probably the most versatile one because you can use it for so many things, I'm using a Dollar Tree plunger and just removing the bottom. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some beads. Now these are the beads that you can get at Dollar Tree. They're multi-pack, and you are going to have to paint them, which I do show you in a tutorial how to paint them easily. Now you can also use these beads, which come in one size, and they are obviously Dollar Tree, and these are Dollar Tree as well. You can get them in the hair section. You are going to need a lot of packs to complete this, so I got mine on Amazon. It just made my life a lot easier. I will link this below, but I do love using this. If you do use these, you're just going to buy a ton of packs because they are smaller. Now I'm going to use some Dollar Tree twine as well, and an upholstery needle. Now I'll link this below. I have a multi-pack of upholstery needles. It just makes stringing beads a whole lot easier. Now for the first row of beads, which is my outer beads, I'm going to do 60. And you can tell that the bag is still pretty full. That's because these beads are so much bigger. So once I'm done, I'm just going to tie a knot. Now, if you want to take it an extra step, you can drill a tiny little hole where you're putting this and then just feed the string through. but I'm just tying a knot and then I'll just hot glue it in place once I'm done adding my second row. Now for the next row of beads, I'm going to do the exact same thing, only this time I'm only going to add 40. I do want this to look staggered, so I'm doing 60, 40, and then I'm doing a row of 20. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing and tie them on the inside. The reason that I haven't hot glued yet is because I want to be able to move this around before I set it in with some hot glue. And like I said, you can always drill little holes instead or add hooks, whatever you want. You don't even have to use a Dollar Tree plunger. You can use whatever dowel rod you have at home. So this is it when it's finished with the beads, and look how many beads I have left over. This is what I'm going to use for the rest of the tutorials. Now I'm going to take some string and tie it to both ends. This is going to be so I can hang it up on my wall. And once I have that string, then I'll move everything in the position that I want and hot glue it in place. Now you can go ahead and leave it alone and just flip it so you don't see the hot glue, or you can add some greenery to it. Dollar Tree does have a variety of foliage now, but if you don't have it and you just have foliage from some other arrangement, then go ahead and use that, which is what I'm going to do because I like this one a little bit better. I'm going to cut it down so that I can get the most use out of it. And then I'm going to start hot gluing. I'm going to hot glue one end, and then I'm going to go right ahead and do the other end and leave the middle blank. But you can do yours with just greenery. It is up to you, but I really wanted to use those flowers that I used in my beaded wreath that I made a few weeks back. Now, if you just use greenery, it looks a little bit more boho. This looks a little bit more suitable for a wedding, but I just took off the ends of my flowers. I'm using a combination of the Dollar Tree flowers and flowers that I had from my grab bag. I added the pink one to the center and then the other two to the side. And like I said, you can leave it with just greenery or nothing at all. It is totally up to you and what fits your style. But like this, I feel like it would look gorgeous at a wedding reception. For this next one, and I feel like it's the one that looks the most expensive, I'm going to use this Dollar Tree garden dish. This is nice and flat. I've removed all of the tags and labels. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 3D wreath form from Dollar Tree in the 10-inch. And as you can see, it covers up the top. So I'm going to use my side cutters, pliers, whatever they are, and just cut one piece and then cut off those two little hooks. Now that I have this, I'm going to fish my beads through there. You can use the Dollar Tree one since these are going to be painted anyway. You get to the end of one side, add a little dab of hot glue to that wire, and then put a bead on top. You're going to do the same thing to the other side, but I am going to add one extra bead. And the reason that I'm going to do this is because like this, it is a little short when you put it on the plate. So I'm just going to wait for it to dry and then add one more bead. So I'm just going to hot glue that into place and then hot glue it to the other side. Now that it fits, I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to add it to the edge very, very lightly and then press my beads on top. You can of course use a combination of hot glue and E6000. That's up to you. I would add this E6000 afterward. Now I found these plates at Dollar Tree. These are from my craft stash. I'm just going to remove one of the plates, and what I love about this is that it looks like stamped pottery. So I'm going to add this to the bottom so that it has a little bit of height. And the cool thing is that this has a little button right here, which indicates that that's the center, and so does this, so you're going to get this nice and straight. I'm going to attach the two pieces using my E6000, and I will leave both the E6000 and the color key in the description. So I'm going to add a generous amount and then make sure that I line up those two little buttons. I'm going to let this dry really well before I spray paint it. As you can tell, that's not dry yet. And then I'm going to spray paint it. You can also just use acrylic paint. The spray paint that I used, I'll link it below, but if you don't want to use spray paint, this is a really nice dupe in color. It's called Pueblo by Folk Art. I think I bought this at Michael's. This is what the bowl looks like finished, and you can pop some greenery in there or some LED candles, some faux fruit. It is up to you, but it is so gorgeous, and I love the stamp detail at the bottom. For this next one, and my favorite one because I wasn't entirely sure that it was going to work, I'm going to use some craft sticks from Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to use my little hot plate just so I don't have to film in my kitchen. I'll link it below, but of course you can use your regular stove. I just use this so I don't have to take my equipment downstairs. So in a pan with some shallow water, I'm going to put my popsicle sticks. Always boil more than you need and boil for 30 minutes. I used this glove underneath a regular glove. This is what I used to flat iron my hair when I used to, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't need this. I have really rough hands, so I can touch a pot and I just don't feel it. But I didn't think the wood was too hot, but I definitely recommend it if you have very sensitive hands. Once it is done boiling, you're going to let it sit in lower heat, and you're going to be able to bend this. So you're going to put this in whatever cylinder, vase, or cup that you have, and you're going to try and get this all to bend in the same way. So the middle is obviously the stress point, so make sure that you try bending the ends first before you just push the middle. Now I say this in every video where I'm using fire or heat. Please be careful. Do not do this near anything flammable. Do this in your kitchen. Do this outside. Do it anywhere where you cannot get hurt, and use proper attire. So once you have a good amount, and always do more than you think you need because some of them do crack, let it dry completely. And when it's done drying, this is the much smaller popsicle sticks. You can take them out of your container. Now I used a little lid for a candle, and then I'm going to hot glue my pieces to the end. So I'm going to do one side, and then I'm going to go across to the other side and work my way around. I was obviously short one piece, which is why I said always make more than you need, but that actually came in handy because I was able to put my candle in through that spot. Now I'm taking regular popsicle sticks and I'm gluing them to the ends, and make sure that it sets really well before you start manipulating this. So once it's set, you can start kind of pushing them in. Now, the next step, you really need to do this way, because if you do with like a rubber band or anything like that, it's just not going to stay in place. So I tied some twine to one of them, and then I would push popsicle sticks in and then wrap. Do not tie a knot to the rest of them because you want to be able to move them around if it looks a little lopsided like you see me doing here. So once you have that first set, you're going to make your way around. Now you can leave it like that, but mine looked a little lopsided. So after I was done weaving from place to place, I hot glued, and even though I think it looks really cool, because it is lopsided, I covered it up with some thicker rope. So I really would have loved it if it was just that, but it's lopsided. So I'm going to take my thicker rope and work my way around, which is, in the end, I ended up liking because it did cover up the ends of the popsicle sticks. Once I covered all the popsicle stick ends, I cut off the rope and hot glued it to the inside. Now you can do the same thing to the bottom. I am going to cover that area where I hot glued the bent popsicle sticks just so that you don't see the glue. This is what it looks like afterward. And now to make a little handle, I'm using some Dollar Tree floral wire and the same bag of beads that I've been using for everything. I'm going to create a little handle. So once I have a nice size to this, I'm going to take the ends and with some pliers, needle nose pliers, I'm going to bend the ends. And that's going to keep my beads in place. And I'm going to hot glue that to the top of my lantern. I had a ton of beads left over, so I decided to use the wire that was left over and create kind of like a little piece in the middle to cover up where all the bent popsicle sticks meet the straight ones. I just kind of created a little wreath and then placed it on top. I didn't hot glue it in case I didn't end up liking this in the end. I just kind of placed it and I thought this looked really, really cool and not like Dollar Tree stuff at all. I can't even tell it's popsicle sticks. So I love it. So I really hope that you enjoyed these tutorials, and if you did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, which one you'll be recreating, what you'll be using, and as usual, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will hopefully see you on the next one.